Good Erev Shabbos to all. The Parashat HaShavua, Parashat Vayikra, deals with korbanot. But the pasuk that it starts is a little weird. It says, Vayikra el Moshe, Vayidaber Hashem elav mi'ohel moed לאמור. דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם אדם כי יקריב מכם קורבן להשם מן הבהמה מן הבקר ומן הצאן תקריבו את קורבנכם. What? I have a problem with one word here. It should say דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם אדם כי יקריב קורבן להשם מן הבהמה מן הבקר ומן הצאן תקריבו את קורבנכם, או תקריבו את קורבנו, יקריב את קורבנו. The problem that I have, ki yakriv mikem. What do you mean, Adam ki yakriv mikem? What are we talking about here? So we said yesterday about the issue of korbanot and so on and so forth, and how people say we don't need it, we don't need it, we don't need it. But everything from the parasha, throughout the whole entire Torah, has a side. Besides the story, the problem is that people always concentrate on the outside, on the action. They don't see the reason behind. That's why many people don't understand why they're doing certain things. But people look at the korbanot. All right, we can't give korbanot. So you know what? Let's just take this part of the Torah, and we don't read it. Well, who needs it? I mean, we're not going to do this. We're not doing it now. So what's the point of it? But there is a great lesson to learn. There's a great lesson to learn, which is actually the point of bringing the korban. Now we need the help for the Kabbalah for that. According to the Kabbalah, a person has few parts in him. In the spiritual part, there is the nefesh ha'elokit and nefesh behemit, the divine part of him and the behemic, earthy part of him. People think that the more I'm going to elevate myself into the stages of spirituality, the more I'm not going to have any part with the behemic part of me, the soul of me. And that's not true. It is impossible for you to operate without that. So if a person tells you, oh, this man, he has no desires, he is, is above. That's nonsense. That's absolutely nonsense. The nefesh behemit is needed. That's the part of us that wants to eat, that wants to multiply, that wants to live, is in charge of the survival mechanism that we all have inside of us. Okay, there's also a bad side to it. That is the side of the soul that is the earthy side, that wants power, kavod, honor, respect, ego. In a way, and if you tell me a person has no ego, I don't want to sound Freudian with that, but a person that doesn't have any ego, how could you survive? It doesn't mean that you are not humble. Don't confuse humbleness with no self-esteem. Because when you have no self-esteem, it is terrible, it's destructive. Because it will bring you to do many things that if you have some self-esteem, you would stay away from. Don't confuse that. If a person says, I'm a nothing, I'm this, who cares about me, I'm nothing, I'm useless. So guess what happens? He does an Averah. I mean, since I'm nothing, what difference does it make what I do? And we learned that could not be more far from the truth than that. Everything that you do leaves an impact in the world. We spoke about it yesterday. So what does it mean, Adam ki yakriv mikem? When a person, lahakriv, korban in Hebrew, in English we say sacrifice. Korban is to come close, mishon karov. So let's see what happens. In Judaism, you are not supposed to kill your nefesh behemit, because it's impossible, because we are a complex entity that is combined from a spiritual and a physical. And when I become all spiritual, guess what? I'm dead, because I need that mechanical part. And don't forget, if you all see only physical, you're also spiritually dead. And there are people like that, or spiritually dead. Their intention is only to the behemah inside of you, the animal, the behemoth, the beast inside of you. So let's look at this pasuk now. With your permission, let's look at this pasuk different. How to deal with my behemoth side in me. I have urges. I have desires. We all have. If somebody tells you he doesn't have a desire, there's something wrong with him, or he's just a liar. So let's see. Im ola korbano min habakar, zachar tamim yakrivenu, where? El petach o el moed. Where do we bring the korban? Could I bring the korban anywhere? No. I have to bring a korban in a specific place. Now, for all those bright lights who have a problem with bringing a korban. Why? I want to bring a korban to Hashem in my backyard. We heard this a few times, right? You're missing the point. Hashem is not interested in barbecues. There is a reason why it has to be brought in on an altar in a specific place, either Oel Moed or in Bet HaMikdash. Why? Because you're not supposed to kill the beast inside of you. You're supposed to bring it close. You need to be me'aden, to gentle, to make it more smooth. So how do you take the beast inside of you and make it contained and make it work for you, that you become the master and not the slave of your desires? You bring it to the Kodesh, you bring it to Oel Moed. You need to bring it up. That's why you go up on the Mizbeach. You need to take this behemoth spirit and elevate it. And you need to bring it to the Kedusha, to the holiness. You bring it to Hashem. So when you eat for Hashem. And when you breathe for Hashem. And every act that you do becomes an act of Kodesh, Ma'aseh Kodesh. Because, technically speaking, what's the difference between bringing a barbecue, or roasting an animal, or putting on a Mizbeach? I'm roasting meat on the Mizbeach. But this is not the point. The point in the matter is not the action, it's what behind the action. So if you want to bring a korban today, what do I do? I'll tell you what you do. You can bring a korban. You don't need to build. Today we can't. We don't have the permission. We don't have the prophet or the authority from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for whatever reason, to build the Mizbeach and build it. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not leave us without an ability to do what He wants us to do. He took the actual act of bringing a korban, but He left us with the real thing. And the real thing is what? You take your behemoth self and you bring it up on the Mizbeach. You elevate it up on the Mizbeach. And then you bring it to the Kodesh, to the Holy. And this can only be done in Beit HaMidrash. It cannot be done sitting at home alone, taking a book, cross your feet with a little single malt in one hand and some nash on the other as you go through the pages of the Torah. Torah needs to work. It needs to be elevated. Be'avodat HaKodesh. Ma'alot ba'Kodesh. Elevation in stairway to heaven. So when you bring it here, you can do it. So what? I cannot become holy. I cannot contain and gentify my behemoth soul somewhere else. The answer is no, because it's like bamot. It's like bringing outside sacrifice. It might look the same, but it is not. And you need a Kohen. Because there's certain places that you can, so you need the Kohen. And the purpose of the Kohen, or the job of the Kohen, is substituted by the rabbi who teaches you, who guides you what to do. He says, I'll take it from this point on. So when you bring yourself to Bet HaMidrash, you're handing yourself over to the holy. When you're bringing yourself to the Bet HaMidrash, and you know your place, that your rabbi is your rabbi, and your rabbi is not the body, your friend, and you're not trying to compete with the rabbi. He might be younger than you, but he knows more than you. He's the Kohen, and we know the jobs. He's a Kohen, I'm to bring the Korban. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has its place. He helps you elevate yourself. But if you're not willing to be mekabel, you're not willing to receive, it's like you tell to the Kohen, I don't want you to do so. Now you can understand why shchita bezar muteret, why in Bet HaMikdash even a non-Kohen can shech the animal. Because the mitzvah is really on you. You can shech your own Yetzer Hara. But to bring it out, to transform this beast in you to a Kli Kodesh, then you need the Kohen to do it. A person who cleanses himself. It's perfect. It's amazing. Nobody thinks about it. Because we always look at the end result. We don't look at it's like we're looking at the top, not at the iceberg on the bottom. It's amazing. So if you see a guy who he claims to be a Ben Torah, a Talmid Chacham, and he's not refined, he's gas ruach, he's vulgar, he's brute, he's not gentle, you know that something in his Avodat HaKodesh is not. He didn't bring this Korban. He might learn Torah. He might, in other words, learn how to do the barbecue, but he never brought it to Beit HaMikdash. He did Bamot. He did it outside. And you can't bring Korban outside. That's why it's not the same. And it's a wonderful Musar lesson to all of us. We all think we can learn all ourselves, and it's not. Don't just look at the action, look at the reason or what's behind it. Don't be blind by your own behemic self. Refine it. Refine it. Refine yourself, because the Torah will refine you. It's like the fire that refines the gold and burns all the alloys and leaves you with pure gold. And that goes back to Sefer Shmot. And that's my question to you. With your gold inside of you, do you build a Kli Kodesh, a holy vessel, or you bring in an idol, like the golden calf? This is why you have to come and learn. This is why you have to surround, to let go, and let somebody else bring the Korban for you, teaches you how to do so. But don't forget, you are the one who is capable of shechting it. You don't have to have somebody. Sometimes, if you don't know, he'll do it for you. But you could do it as well. Rabotai, think about it carefully. The korbanot is not just bringing sheep and slaughtering. Because if it's like this, it's very difficult for a vegan to understand, why do I need korbanot? Or a vegetarian, or a flexitarian, or whatever it is, the But the korbanot and kol ma'aseh Torah, all the actions of the Torah, including the stories of the Torah, come to teach us a great lesson about life, comes to teach us a little great lesson about ourselves. So listen to what we said yesterday first. Oh, actually, if you're listening to this now, but listen to what we said yesterday and understand why we're doing what we're doing and what we said today and how it sits on together. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shel Torah, a Shabbat that is going to be a Shabbat dedicated to internal work, to refine ourselves, so the true light of our soul will be able to shine through the clouds of the behemic soul that we have. Shabbat Shalom all.